Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Keedex number K-BXES51. This is a weldable gate box, is what it is, by Keedex. And weldable gate box and the name Keedex, they're synonymous. There must be some other people who make weldable gate boxes. There might be a lock manufacturer who may offer one, but nothing comes to mind. If someone says a weldable gate box, Keedex is the name. This happens to be for an electric strike. This happens to be for a Von Duprin 5100 electric strike. Von Duprin is a name synonymous with exit devices, first and foremost. A second layer below that would be they're known as the company that basically invented the entire product category. Below that, they have an exceptional line of electric strikes. They also have, which all of them are grade 1. They also have their 5100 series electric strike. And that strike is, and I'm looking at the document, I'm going to guess it's grade 2, meaning it's standard duty commercial. It doesn't say anything about grading on their product brochure. So if it doesn't say that it's not graded at all, we have to conclude that it's not. Or it's just unintentionally omitted from the February 2019 document that I'm looking at. But the point of the matter is the 5100 is a strike that I've used many times. It's a low-cost option to many other people who make low-cost options, not low-end like keepers that are managed by springs, but a really great product, and I've used it with great success. What I like about it is, I think what everyone likes about it, is that right out of the box, and this isn't a video about Von Duprin strikes, but right out of the box it's field selectable 12 or 24 volt. It will come with 3 different face plates in the finish that you are asking for. It is UL 1034 listed for burglary resistant electric door strikes, so it does have a listing. I'm not sure of the criteria of that, but it's very likely a criteria that talks about types of attacks and length of time of those attacks would be my guess. But again, I don't know what's in there. It's obviously there's some sort of criteria that it meets clearly. Very easy to run 12 volt or 24 volt right to it. Okay, if you're going to run AC through it, you can, but you'll need a rectifier, the SO24. Well, the point of the matter is, I'm actually surprised that I don't bump into more 5100s because they're a great competitor to, like an Adams Right Strike. They're not as inexpensive as Adams Right Strikes. But, you know, the option is you've got Von Duprin in other parts of the job, stick with it just, you know, just maybe out of habit, I would imagine. Anyway, back to this box. So what is this? You need to add an electric strike to something, a jamb, a gate, whatever the case is. 5-inch tall. It is about 1 inch and 11/16 thick. And then the width, or the depth, I suppose, about 2 and 5/16. Also, forgive me, this is clearly going to be for the 4 7/8 faceplate strike. It'll have a 4 7/8 with a square corner. The height of the prep in the face of what would be otherwise the hollow metal frame, 3 3/8. And then the depth of that prep, it's about 1 inch. Okay, maybe just 1 1/16 inches. Speaking of 16th, let's take a look at the thickness of the material. Now, you could certainly add an electric strike to a gate. Meaning you can make the preparation yourself. My caliper tells me it's 0.075, 0.075 thick. Obviously, this is going to be wipe coat galvanized, is what it is. Even though that there's a small amount of rust on there, that's not, you know, that's not to be of concern. You know, things will start to rust. Who knows how long this has been sitting on the shelf. Anyway, that's going to get sanded and painted completely. you need to add the electric strike, and the moral of the story is it's just less expensive to purchase the item already made to accept the hardware, and that's where Keedex comes in. They have an incredibly comprehensive list of items for doing that. Lock sets primarily, but many electric strikes as well. The only thing that you have to really watch out for electric strikes is that the depth of the keeper will accommodate the projection of your latch bolt. The 5100 will take a 1/2 inch or a 5/8 of an inch, but no 3/4 inch. So be careful that no mortise locks or locks that have 3/4 inch latch bolt projections. Those do exist, and in fact, they're quite typical and common for pairs of fire-rated hollow metal doors. The label will give that information. 3/4 inch min latch throw for pairs. Okay, so, really the only thing that this is going to be lacking is going to be a hole to drill through it to bring your wires or run a conduit up to it. I would imagine that there's, going to be some exterior grade flex that will go to this. I would be mindful where you drill this, though. On the bottom, it's full of spot welds, or, well, whatever your hand is, of course, being non-handed. So be mindful, don't drill through a spot weld. And you'll think you'll be in good shape. Weighs 0.98 pound, so basically a pound. Let's switch to the screen view where we can take a closer look at the supporting documentation. Okay, so this is the item that we're looking at, and a couple of, elevation view is what this would be called, a right side view is what this would be called. A couple of bigger pictures, dimensional properties are listed here as well. Supporting documentation. They say 14 gauge steel, could be 14 gauge. 14 gauge thickness. Not sure what that is. 16 gauge is about 60 thousandths. So 14 gauge. Yeah, okay, there you go. 14 gauge is 0.074. That's pretty much what we measured. Yeah, it was, in fact. I think I said 0.074. So definitely 14 gauge. Very handy. Okay, now, the supporting documentation. Cut sheet, cross-reference, and gate box catalog. Let's tackle the gate box catalog first. That is, as you can see, a pretty epic document. And what we're going to find when that gets loaded is all of the gate boxes available from Keedex. Just as I clicked refresh, it loaded. Abracadabra. There we go. Okay, the gate boxes. So they have several and many components that go along with gate boxes. And getting down here to page 8 is where they're going to start. And they have so many different variations of this material. It's really difficult to know what you're dealing with in terms of what you need if you just scroll through this. But pretty quickly, you start to get the idea, wait a minute, they have it listed by the manufacturer. So, and unfortunately, this is, actually, fortunately, perfect. Von Duprin electric strike. So what we could have done is just done a find function on our keyboard for 5100, and we would have found it right there. Okay, BXES51, 5100. Okay, if there is an indication in the column of it being made of another base material, it will be here. They don't make it in aluminum or stainless, but they do other items. So in the KBXRHO, which is a heavy-duty weldable gate box, it is indeed heavy duty, but it's a weldable gate box for grade 1 lock sets, and in this case Schlage cylindrical ND series, so you'll be able to use that with a lot of different locks naturally. They have it in aluminum and stainless steel. Here in southern Florida, aluminum is going to be the choice in many instances. So much material is just simply made in aluminum. Gates are made in aluminum, etc. Or stainless, but aluminum is obviously the choice. Presto-Matic. That is Presto-Matic. You may never have heard of it. That is a lock that was invented in the 1960s. That is a combination latch or deadbolt, thoroughly mechanical. You enter a code, you press the button, and it will retract the bolt. I think you have to enter the code to relock. Don't quote me on that. But that is a lock that you don't see often. But they're alive and well. I think they're in a town called... They're in Florida. They might be in Sanford or DeLand. They might be in DeLand. DeLand, Florida. 45 minutes north and east of Orlando. Very interesting. Very interesting outfit. Been around for 50 years now. Other items are here that you can go through and check out. Weldable gate boxes. So that's a handy document in terms of it being the gatebox catalog. You get into some more, some additional descriptions, and we just happen to fall on the BXES51 right here. Okay. Now, as handy as that is, their cut sheet, no new information here. That's all on the page. Cross-reference guide is the same document as what we just went through, without any extraneous information. I literally use this to Control F, type in what I'm looking for, and I will get to the item that I need. 5100, KBXES51, etc. Okay? So obviously this column is also alphabetical. So you can go right to Adams Right, let's say. Okay? There you go. They do, Keedex does a really good job. They have incredibly fast shipping lead times. They have also very, very accommodating technical support. I called them one time about a deviation. I got an item that didn't match the paperwork, and they were incredibly helpful at getting to the root of what the deviation was. Incredibly helpful. Now, a link to the manufacturer's page here. That's going to be handy because it's going to allow you to review not only all of the Keedex products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website. And this company, it's been their policy for a long time. They don't work on Fridays. They work a 4/10 sort of scenario. So shipping doesn't happen on Fridays. Here is their full catalog, which was right here that I clicked on to get that loaded. Now, Keedex is known for other items than weldable gate boxes, although that's probably their most popular or notorious product line. What else they're into is armored door loops, flexible conduit in 1/4 and 3/8 made of different base materials for running low voltage from a frame to a door, basically. They have pre-made sets in different colors and sizes, lengths, diameters, different mounting types. You can do the rectangular mounting type that we can see right here, or you can do the less expensive end cap model. You can buy it all in bulk as well. I had a client in Colorado one time need to do 100 doors, so I don't recall the footage that we were doing, but it was a large spool of the material. Then we were doing the end cap connector things in bulk, so it was very easy. However, as you go through the rest of this catalog, you're going to quickly notice that this is a company that has a tremendous focus on the locksmith community. The security hardware, locksmithing, installation aids, such as this fixture. We actually just sold one of these about a month ago. This is a it is a installation aid that allows you to clamp your workpiece with the gate so that you can get it set in position, and then you can go about doing the welding or however you're attaching it. Okay. These tubes are also very handy. They go on the back side of the gate and render it really difficult to reach your hand in and get your hand around a knob to open up the gate. That 8-inch depth is pretty common. The 3.5 is probably more common, but we do sell those. And they're surface mounted. They're just meant to keep someone from reaching through. Now they get to all those gate boxes that are down here, etc. They have security hardware. You may have noticed that we went past some tapered cylinder collars as well. Which I'll probably just end up blowing past. These are change keys. If you need to be able to reset the combination on a safe combination lock, this would be a set of change keys that you'll need to do that to change the combination. Without the change key, I don't know that there's any easy way to do it. You have to spread the springs apart so that you can move the wheels. I'm not an expert when it comes to safe locks, but I know how they work. Anyway, lots of important tools that are here. I would recommend them at all times. Let's wrap up this video on camera. Now, in conclusion, this is a relatively simple piece of equipment. I mean, it's really nothing other than 4 pieces of steel that have been probably sheared and then put into a CNC turret, I'm guessing, or a punch. Probably a turret would be my guess. And then a couple of pieces, and they're just spot welding. You know, a spot welder has electrodes just like a claw on a crab. Be able to get in there and just pinch. That's how they weld this stuff together. Actually, it might be 5 pieces. Looks like there's a little bit of reinforcing on the back side of the strike. So very simple and straightforward. At the end of the day, though, can you make this as inexpensively? And the answer is no, you can't. And I've got guys who do welding on gate, do custom gate work. They don't order this stuff. But it's also probably because they're looking to disguise or blend the hardware prep in to the overall structure, and for them to introduce a foreign element into the design is not what they're looking to do. Anyway, I'm partial to Keedex. Not only it's because this is where you're going to get this material from, but they are very helpful folks, there's no doubt. If you have any questions on the Keedex K-BXES51 weldable gate box for a Von Duprin 5100 series electric strike, or any other Keedex product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.